I discovered my husband's secret life when I found his other wife's Instagram account. I never thought I'd be the woman who discovers her husband has a secret family. That kind of thing happens in movies, not to ordinary people like me. But here I am, sitting in my lawyer's office, filing for divorce after finding out my husband of 8 years has been living a double life for the past 5. It started with something so innocent, a notification from Instagram asking people I might want to follow. Among the usual suspects was a woman named Megan, whose profile picture caught my eye. She was wearing what looked exactly like my husband David's favorite vintage band shirt. I clicked on her profile out of mild curiosity. Her account was public, filled with beautiful photos of her home, her cooking, and her family. Then I saw it pair in a photo of her kissing a man whose face was turned away from the camera, but I'd recognize the back of that head anywhere. It was David. My fingers trembling, I scrolled through her feed. There he was again and again, parent my husband in a house I'd never seen, with a woman I'd never met, and most devastatingly with a little boy around 3 years old who had David's exact dimples and cowlick. The caption read, 4 years with my amazing husband, love our little family DT in 4 years. While we had been married for 8, David was a consultant who traveled frequently for work, 3 days a week in Boston, 4 days at home with me in Chicago. At least that's what I thought. Vert out, he had another wife and child in Boston, another home, another life. I spent the entire night going through both Megan's Instagram and Facebook. I learned that they had met 6 years ago, 2 years into our marriage, that their son's name was Ethan, that they had a dog named Rusty, and that David had told her he was divorced. The next morning, instead of confronting David, I called in sick to work and did something crazy Perta. I booked a flight to Boston. I needed to see this parallel universe with my own eyes using details from her social media. I found their address. It was a beautiful colonial house in a suburb outside Boston, Perta, completely different from our modern downtown Chicago apartment. I parked across the street and waited, feeling like I was having an out-of-body experience. At 5:30 p.m., David's car pulled into the driveway. I watched as my husband, paired wearing clothes I'd never seen pair, and greeted a little boy who ran into his arms, shouting, "Daddy." A beautiful woman came out and kissed him. They looked like the perfect family. I sat there for an hour watching through the window as they ate dinner together. David was animated, laughing, helping the little boy cut his food, all the things he did at our dinner table too. When I finally returned to Chicago, David was already there, having just flown in from Boston. He kissed me hello and asked about my day as if nothing was wrong. "How was your trip?" I asked casually. "Heining's hotel room, airport food," he replied, not missing a beat. That's when I placed my phone on the counter screen up, showing a photo of him with Megan and Ethan at what appeared to be a 4th of July barbecue suffer meetings, I said. The color drained from his face. He didn't deny it, didn't even try to explain. He just sat down heavily on our couch and said, "I never meant for this to happen." In the weeks that followed, I learned the full extent of his deception: temporary date phones, separate bank accounts, elaborate calendar systems to keep track of his lies. He'd even created fictional colleagues who would call during dinner so he could step away and call his other family. When I asked why he didn't just divorce me, his answer was perhaps the most painful part. "I loved both of my lives. I couldn't bear to give either of you up." I've since connected with Megan, who was just as blindsided as I was. We formed an unlikely friendship, bonded by shared trauma and betrayal. She's divorcing him too. Sometimes I still can't believe this happened to me, parent, that the man who held me every night and talked about our future had another woman he held and another future he planned. But the strangest part, without that random Instagram suggestion, I might never have known.